Okay, teachers, welcome back to another segment of Classroom Management by Design for the Primary Teacher. I hope you've been loving this little series we're doing, kind of getting you into that holiday flow, but still like keeping those boundaries with classroom expectations in your classroom, and just hopefully we're showing you the holiday season doesn't have to be crazy and hectic, okay? And you can do it all on a budget, still have fun, not break the bank. Your students are gonna love you. You don't have to be that Pinterest teacher across the hall. You do what feels right for you. And I'm gonna tell you, you just doing that is going to alleviate so much stress from your life. I promise you. Don't be in competition with those other teachers. You're not them. You're already a great teacher. So this week, first of all, if you're new here, I am Lauren Zabig and I'm the founder of LessonPlanToolbox.com, where we help primary teachers master classroom management easily, consistently, and most importantly, effectively each and every day of the school year. That is what we do. That is who we serve. These are our fun blog posts that we do to help steer you in the right direction as far as classroom management goes. As in the general population, inside our community, you get very direct support, one-to-one support within 48 hours of sending in your questions or scenarios or whatever it is that you need support with. We get back to you within 48 hours and help you. These are fun for me to do because they're a little bit more lighthearted and not quite as intense as what we get in our community. So let's jump into this week's segment, which is all about getting on track for January, okay? January is a pivotal month for teachers. It is just as important as September, in my opinion. It is the time to refresh routines, reestablish your classroom expectations, and set the tone for that productive second half of the school year. For primary teachers especially, juggling lesson plans, student behavior, classroom materials, and personal resolutions can feel so overwhelming. So this segment is going to focus on just some easy to implement strategies to help you stay organized, reduce your stress, and hopefully ensure that true transition into a productive new year for you, okay? So again, we're gonna give you some suggestions. Take what you love, bye-bye to the rest. If it doesn't feel right, ignore it, move past it, okay? So we're just gonna give you some tips and tricks that we think will help you. First up is reset your classroom systems and routines. January is the perfect time to reassess your classroom systems and routines. Take the opportunity to evaluate what's working and what needs adjustment, okay? How are you gonna do that? First thing you wanna do is revisit and refresh your expectations. Start the year by reviewing classroom rules and procedures with your students. Use those visuals. Use those student behavior scenario of the day cards. Bring them back, right? So they get that role playing in there. Have those collaborative discussions to re-engage your students with the expectations. Another thing you can do is just create a fun interactive activity like Classroom Expectations Bingo, where students recall and demonstrate key routines, okay? Super fun, super simple. I am sure there is something in TPT that you can just go search and download for free. The next thing you want to do is organize your physical spaces. Clutter can increase stress and reduce efficiency in the classroom. That is not a surprise, especially for our ADHD students, okay? So you want to spend time reorganizing your classroom materials, your bulletin boards, and your supplies to just create that refreshed environment. Dedicate one afternoon to decluttering a specific area, such as maybe your teacher's desk or the student supply station. Then you want to use labeled bins or color-coded folders to keep the materials sorted. You will be amazed at what that can do for your peace of mind, okay? My second tip I'm going to give you is plan ahead for the next semester, right? You want to create a clear plan for the coming months because it's going to help you stay on track and reduce the last minute stress. That's where it comes from when we're not prepared. Use a monthly calendar system. Have that large desk calendar or something, a digital planner, to map out your important dates. Track your deadlines and your topics. Include themes or units that you know are coming each month to help you align your lessons with those long-term goals. Map it out now. Then you can add, just to make it a little more friendly, right? Coded friendly for you, add those color-coded categories such as assessment days or parent communication, behavior goals. And then this is going to help you to easily track different priorities, okay? This next one was huge. Year one, this one is tricky to do, I will tell you. But if you are year two, probably, 3 and beyond for sure in the same grade level, batch your lesson planning. So instead of planning week by week, you want to try batching lesson plans for an entire month. Yes, you can tweak. Remember, it is a lesson plan. Some schools, I know, you have to follow what they give you. In some areas, it's great because you know what you have to do. Sometimes it could also be really annoying. But if you're somebody who has creating their own lesson plans, use the batching method and see if it saves you time. I think it will, and it will help you to see how your lessons flow across subjects. You'll be surprised. It sounds daunting. I'm telling you, I want to say 15 years of my career, once I got in this habit, it never left me, and it took so much stress off of my plate, okay? How do you do this so it's like flowing? You want to use templates or pre-planned resources to streamline the process. If you teach a specific unit every January, reuse some of those successful activities and then tweak them as needed. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every year. Don't do that. Don't create more work. If it worked and you're still aligned to your curriculum, use it again. Third tip I'm going to give you is organize student data and materials, because January is such a great time to revisit your approach to tracking student progress and managing materials, okay? You can create or even just update data binders, okay? Keep the student data organized with individual binders or folders. Use those tabs to separate areas like assessment, behavior, parent communication notes. Keep yourself organized. Then you can do like a mid-year snapshot sheet where it summarizes each student's current performance and their goals for the upcoming semester, okay? Your parents will love that, so will your admin, because one, you're communicating to parents, but you're also kind of reflecting on where your students are at and looking at their growth so far and where they need to get to. Another thing you can do is introduce student-owned organization systems. So you can encourage students to take ownership of their materials. For example, assign each student a color-coded folder for unfinished work. Have another color-coded folder for homework. And have one more folder for classroom projects. I never did that one, but some teachers do. They love it. I always just did. We had a take-home folder and a classwork folder. That's all they really needed. But if you want one for projects that you're working on, go for it. It's totally up to you. Then what you do is you hold a folder reset day. And this is where your students clean out old materials and organize their workspaces. Give them time to do this, especially your ADHD students, and then use this as a strategy on their student behavior plans. This is what we do every Thursday afternoon or every Friday afternoon before we head into the weekend. We reset our folders. I check and make sure old work is taken out and it's a fresh start every Monday to help keep them organized. That is an accommodation you're doing. It's simple, it's easy, and it probably comes naturally to you. It's an accommodation, especially if you're going out of way for those students especially, to make sure it is done properly. Fourth tip I'm going to give you is set personal goals to maintain the balance, right? Staying organized isn't just about the classroom. It's also about your personal well-being. Setting manageable goals for yourself is going to help you to avoid burnout. So how do you do this? Lauren, I already have so much to do. The last thing I'm worried about is setting goals for myself. You're going to adopt the 3-task rule. I love this. This was a game changer in my career, just as much as batching the lesson plans. So every single day, you are going to focus on completing just 3 priority tasks instead of trying to tackle everything at once. If you have an ADHD brain, as I'm finding more and more teachers do, this is huge. This strategy is going to reduce the overwhelm and keep you focused on what matters most in your daily routines, okay? How are you going to do this? You are going to use sticky notes, and then what you're going to do is cross off your tasks as you complete them, because then you're sending the message to your brain. One, it just feels great to just check it off. I did it. I accomplished it. But you're telling your brain, okay, I did this. I can move on to something else, okay? The next thing you can do along the same lines is establish a work-free zone or times. You are going to set boundaries by designating certain times of the day or areas of your home as work-free. This is going to help you to recharge and maintain just that healthier work-life balance. Commit to a no-work rule after 8 p.m. Or reserve your weekends for family time only. Some people do both. Some people, they leave the classroom, the work stays there. That is completely up to you. I was always one, I did not mind taking work home with me. I never let it interfere with my family obligations. Never. Family always came first, so keep that in mind. I encourage you to do the same, but you have to do what's right for you. Your first year, I know it's really hard to do that. More and more first-year teachers are getting better with this, though. So it is possible, but trust me, it does get easier. I promise you. Fifth tip I'm going to give you for getting this reset done in January, right? Back to basics, we like to call it. You are going to reinforce your classroom culture with collaborative goals. Bring your students into the organization process by setting collaborative goals for the class. How do you do this? First, you're going to create a mid-year vision board. Have your students brainstorm with you goals for the rest of the year, and then turn their ideas into just this vision board, right? Include academic and behavioral goals, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to display the vision board prominently in the classroom and reference it during your morning meetings, during your weekly check-ins to keep your students focused. Have them draw pictures, cut out pictures to post on the vision board, okay? The next thing you want to do this is have a cleanup crew. Assign students rotating responsibilities to help maintain an organized classroom. You can have jobs like desk inspector, material manager. Give your students ownership of the space. Take the burden off of you and put it on them. They love the responsibility, and if you know somebody's desk is a mess, your desk inspector puts a sticky tag on it, and you're going to say, you know what, Bobby, instead of tech time today, you're going to be organizing your desk. When you're done, you're going to have tech time. That's simple, okay? I know it's that simple. I'm kind of simplifying it, but that really can be that simple to get somebody that organized. Like, okay, you know what? Fridays, you know we do have our desk inspector come around. Your desk wasn't quite ready today, so instead of tech time, let's get you organized. And you might have a student who doesn't want tech time and say, can I help Bobby get his desk organized? Absolutely, go ahead. Just make sure we're doing it quietly and we're staying on task, okay? You also want to celebrate students' efforts, right? We want to celebrate them, keeping them motivated. You can do small rewards like an extra recess or a class party just to kind of keep that motivation coming. I wouldn't do anything too big though, right? Extra recess I love. Some teachers, you know, they do the pajama party or a popsicle party. It's totally up to you, totally up to your budget. You know, to me, just by verbally telling them, it goes so much further than all these extras. Sometimes the extras go over the top and they're just not meaningful. So you kind of have to gauge that for your classroom. Okay, the sixth tip I'm going to give you is to use technology to stay on top of things. Technology can be such a powerful ally in staying organized, specifically when managing schedules, when managing lesson plans and parent communication, okay? You can explore classroom apps like Class Dojo, Google Classroom, or Remind to help you streamline communication, to help you track the student behavior, and to share updates with parents. You can set up automated reminders for parent conferences or upcoming assignments using one of those tools too. Great, great resource. Utilize it. You can also have digital organization, right? Consider using an app like Evernote or Trello to help keep track of your lesson ideas and your to-do list and professional goals just in one place. What you can do on Trello, if you didn't know this, is you can create a Trello board with columns for to-do, in progress, completed tasks to visualize your progress. Excuse me. Sorry. So what I really want you to know, and in all honesty, you could do that in your notes if you have an iPhone. Do it in your notes. I mean, do it in a Google Doc. It doesn't even have to be a specific app. I think apps, and I'm working towards developing my membership into an app because I think apps are just right there in your face, and people are more likely to click on an app than go searching through Google Docs looking for that specific doc, okay? That's why I kind of threw that in there. Just know, though, start January with confidence, right? Being organized in January is about creating those manageable systems that worked for both you and your students. And by resetting routines and planning ahead and prioritizing balance, you can set that tone for that productive and stress-free year. It's not about being a perfectionist, it's about progress. Those small intentional changes can make a big difference in how smoothly your classroom runs. Know that, okay? You've got this. You can make January the start of your best teaching year yet. You've got a whole second half to go. It is like that fresh beginning. And I am going to say this, if you are a teacher who is somewhat struggling with classroom management, come reach out to me. Let's do just the coffee chat. I'm not even going to say get in the membership. You might not need the membership. I think all teachers need the membership because we're all trying to master our classroom management. There's truly no such thing as somebody who has figured it all out because every year we get a new batch of students and things have to be tweaked. But I would love to just do a simple coffee chat with you if you are somebody who is struggling. My goal is to help as many primary teachers as possible on their classroom management journey, figuring out the culture of their classrooms, figuring out how to find just that peaceful coexistence between the school life and the home life, which is not always easy, especially in those early years. I have so much coming and looking forward to in 2025. I cannot wait to share with you. I kind of leaked a little bit of it in this where we're going to kind of start moving into an app format, which I'm super excited to share with you. So if you're not in our membership, send me an email or find me on Instagram. We're at Classroom Management for Primary on Instagram, at Classroom Management for Primary. It's a long one. Otherwise, lessonplantoolbox.com. Leave me a message. Happy to chat with you and just see how I can support you on your journey with all things classroom management and student behavior. So until next week, thank you for being here. I hope you're loving this series. I am loving doing this for you. We've got more for you coming at you next week. Remember, teach, relax, repeat.